Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reefy AF Tank Tour. Today, we've got a very special guest, Steve Fox from Exodus in the UK. Now, I know a little bit about his system. I've sent a few wee bits and pieces down his way, and I can't wait to see how they're getting on. But anyway, Steve, thank you for joining. Don't blame me for not joining the Discord. It's not for everyone. If you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you get into the hobby to kick things off.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a hobbyist a very long time. Started very young when my mum bought me a goldfish at 5 years old. I went to stay with my grandma for the weekend at that time. My goldfish died. She didn't tell me. She went out and bought me a Blackmore and told me that it had gone to Spain for the weekend. Got a suntan, which I believed her. I've just sort of always had aquariums from then. Went through the usual cold water, tropical, oddballs, American cichlids, Malawi cichlids, into marines. I had a short time back in the tropical aquascape inside. I think that lasted about 3 months before I moved on again. And then back to saltwater most recently.
So, see how you said you were into the kind of freshwater and the aquascaping and things like that? How come it didn't last very long? I know my quick dip into freshwater, which I don't even actually admit mostly because it was so quick. I found it quite hard.
I didn't so much find it hard. This was after my old tank, which I fell out of. I fell out with myself over it, shall we say, because I didn't spend enough money on a stand, and it rusted from the inside out. So that was a 2,500 litre display tank. The choice was I either had to empty the tank, have a new stand, and put the tank back on, or get rid of everything. So all the teddies came out of the cart, and I got rid of everything. Regretted it after about a year or so. And then the water box tank that's behind me, we used to distribute water box, and it was the last one in the warehouse. And I just went, oh, send it to me. So it sat where it is now, still in the box for probably 6 months before I actually did anything with it. I did tropical aquascaping because I thought, oh, that's fantastic. That'll give me something new, something of a challenge. Within about 8 weeks, my local shop told me to stop bringing in plants because he hadn't sold the last lot that I palmed off on him. I got fed up of cutting the plants, throwing them in the bin. So I just closed it down. I got bored too quickly, unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it. I then went back to Malawi's for about 6 to 8 weeks, and then jumped back into saltwater again.
No, like Tanganyika and stuff then, Steve?
No, I've never done Tanganyika as a biotope. I have had the odd Tanganyika mixed in with Malawi. I used to keep F1s way back when. There used to be a guy local to me, or within about 40 minutes drive, he used to import from Lake Malawi. So he used to get some really unusual stuff.
I must admit, I keep getting tempted to go back to trophies and petrochromis.
Yeah.
So much easier than marine.
Yeah. Used to be a guy who used to come into our retail store, used to breed Debassi, however you pronounce it, Debassi. He was well into it.
Okay, so this system behind you, it looks very, very custom.
Not all.
I mean, the whole thing looks like it's been made to fit a space specifically. So is the cabinetry all custom then?
No. So the cabinets are B&Q 300 kitchen units, which are stacked on top of each other. The space that it is in was where my old 8-foot tank was. So obviously you've got 6 foot of tank, a foot of units either side. And then I made the pelmet that's hanging and just glued a trim around it.
It looks absolutely superb. Like really, it looks like a high-end piece of furniture, but it's B&Q kitchen cabinets.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
They're not the expensive ones either. They're just cheap ones because I cut half of them to pieces.
So what was the tank before this like?
My tank before this one,
Yeah.
that was the 2,500 litre display, 8 foot by 4 foot by 32 deep with a 6x3 sump.
And what happened to that?
The stand failed. The stand was made out of mild steel and powder coated, where they drilled the air holes in the stand for dipping. It started rusting from inside of there. The bits that I could see at the front were relatively bad. That was before what I could see at the back. So yeah, took it all out.
Did it actually start to fail, or was it more of a, oh, this doesn't look good, I'm just going to get rid of this?
Little bit of both. So from the front, I could start to peel off the powder coating, and you could see the steel was bubbling up underneath it.
Never something good to find on a stand, is it?
No, not on that one. No. And
that's pretty brutal.
Yeah, I'd literally taken up 6 wooden floors in this house. I'd gone to the lengths of taking the floor up, supporting the floor, concreted all that area, leveled it out with self-leveling compound, all before the tank even went in. So it was literally built to suit the area. I had the kitchen fitted to suit the tank. So we bought this house 11 years ago. And the whole thing was, when we move into this house, which is a larger house than what we had before, that I could have the tank that I've always wanted.
That's a shame. You put so much effort into it. I mean, obviously, aluminium is just totally all the rage now. And I know if I was definitely going to start building tanks, that's the route I would get down now.
Yeah, 100% aluminium profile. That is where I would go. I mean, this one's just laminate. In fact, no, I think these are 18mm plyboard. I think these ones.
Yeah, I think my clear seal is basically just plyboard or chipboard with a kind of coating on the outside.
Yep.
I'm not a fan. It's doing fine, but you know, if you get a leak and things get a little bit damp and then they all start to swell, where are you left then?
The first gen at Nios's were terrible for that as well.
I'd love to deny it.
Good lad. Would you want to take us through this system then, Steve, in terms of dimensions and what equipment you're running on it?
Yeah. So it is a water box frag tank, which is 6 foot long, 26 front to back, and about 16 inches deep water level, I think. I run 4 XR30 Pros with narrow angle lenses. I've got 3 DOSers. So one's doing auto water change. 2 of them are running the modern Reef RKS 7.7. I do have a number of verses on there as well, dosing minor trace elements, nitrate plus, phosphate plus. On the flow side, I run 6 MP40s. Yes, it is a lot. The only reason that I run 6 is because I had them left over from my old tank. So I just thought, well, I'll put them all on. Got a S2 running UV and chiller, so I can dial in the literage that I want to run through the UV, and an M2 return pump.
Superb. So whereabouts are your MP40s? And are they all on the back wall, or?
No, they're on the sides. So the dry sides are actually in the cabinets. So I've cut the cabinets so that they sit inside, so you don't see any of the dry sides. So they're on left and right hand side, 3 on each side.
It's a really good idea. That's why it does look so slick.
Yeah.
Wow.
It does keep that line nice and clean. Mm-hmm. It does cause other problems though. Yeah. Especially in a 16-inch deep tank, trying to find the sweet spot of it's not sucking air in and it's not pulling sand off of the bottom.
Oh, I was about to ask, do you have sand? Because from here, it doesn't actually look like you've got a lot of sand going on there.
I don't have a lot of sand, and to be fair, it was aimed to be a bare bottom tank, which I like the idea of and hate the look of. So I put sand in, and I have contemplated taking it back out again numerous times. Keep getting the odd breakout of cyano where I keep bottoming my nutrients out, but it's always on the sand. So I thought, you know what, if I just got rid of the sand, it'd be far easier to clear it.
How have you got the pump set up, Steve? Because it's quite a long tank that you've got there, and if you've only got MP40s at either end, have you anti-syncing? Are you kind of giving it some?
So they run anti-sync, lagoon mode through the day, and nutrient transport on a night. I do need to have a little bit more of a play about with it, really, just to tie in things like feed modes in with the auto feeders, that sort of thing. And I don't feel I'm getting the best out of my flow at the moment. I also use the Aquaprint flow directors because of the way that the scape is, and again, the shallowness of the aquarium. So the two that are closest to the front are actually pointed towards the front of the glass. The two at the back are pointed towards the back, and then the two in the center are pointed up towards the top to try and bring it over the top of that rock work.
Okay. Doesn't look like you've got too much flow. So what percentage are you running them on?
They only run about 30 to 40%.
Ah, that makes sense.
But because I've got such a number of them, I would rather try and run them low and that have more of them, rather than try and run them high and some corals suffer. I do notice certain things, such as my Duncan coral, if you can see behind me, is permanently pushed in that direction.
So can you go mobile? Can you move whatever you're using to film so we can have a look at in your stand? And
yeah, 1 second.
So with that, lens as well, have you, Steve?
Say again?
I suppose you've got a lens for blue.
God,
oh, what a guy!
Professional.
All over it.
Whoa! Normally, people get a pair of glasses and start balancing them in the front of the phone.
Well, I had it earlier to show Ron a couple of things. It was literally sat there on my desk. So that is sort of the aquarium itself. I mean, is there anything in particular that you're wanting to see?
Every single coral.
Okay, so
Bella's Angel.
yeah, there's a pair
I
of
was about to say that one.
I'm struggling to see what I'm showing you now. So in the basket on the top, we have
Was that?
Is it just a sunburst hat then?
No, they are Corollados. I can't say it. Can't speak. Colorado.
I'm not even going to attempt it, mate.
Colorado.
Colorado. Yes, they're the ones.
Colorado.
Yes. So
Steve a stroke.
Aluminium.
So the little chappy there behind the tuxedo is what I was actually sending to Ron earlier, because Ron sent me that. That is a red table acro, and I lost pretty much all of it apart from about 2 polyps. And it's starting to grow now. We're starting to see some branches starting to come through.
How long has this been going?
Just over 9 months, this tank.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The first fish went in on the 19th of May. A pair of clownfish went in.
That wrasse is nice too.
So many corals.
Yeah, I'm sort of at the point now where I am out of room for anything that doesn't live on the sand. I did pick up a new acro a couple of weeks ago that hasn't done very well. I've managed to save at least 1 frag out of it, but that one just didn't take at all. I've not lost many corals through this, but that one's not looking too great.
Have you had any issues with you've got so many corals in there? It's been 9 months, but there's got to be things that grow just way faster than other things that
100%. Yeah. I mean, I have took a few frags and handed them out to friends. I'm not sure if you can see I don't know what it's called. Ron will tell you. He sent me behind the pearlberry, Ron, the pink one.
That's sugar tits.
Okay, of course it is. That is actually growing into the Anacropora now, and I need to take a couple of branches off of that. The PC rainbow that I've got up here is growing into the goldy coloured looking one at the top, which you'll have to excuse me. I don't know the names of the majority of these things. I just look at them and say I like that, and we'll have one of those.
What about those torches and hammers below? You don't have problems with those? They look like they're sweeping.
Yeah, they all seem to get on okay. The only issue that I have had, and I've re-glued it today, is the hammer here. Somehow had been knocked into the torch coral below, and it has got a little bit of a sting on the bottom end of it. I had an issue with Euphilia eating flatworms, which I've never seen before, and they were real big things. They only ate my gold ones, so I had to replace both of those.
Were they clear with a white spot in centre?
Now they were white, and they literally looked like the flesh.
Yeah, they're very similar to what I'm suffering with at the moment.
Okay. But to be fair, I got rid of them pretty quickly, and they've never come back again. I've got more hammers. I don't know if you can see there. I'm struggling to see where I am. So I've got another hammer behind the pink one, a big green Goniopora, grafted Monty right down the back.
Steve, those SPS for a 9-month tank are pretty ridiculous. Have you bought sort of smaller colonies that have grown out, or have you gone frags from the start?
I have bought a few small colonies lately. So the one here, the one behind it, I bought those in as small colonies. The one here at the side of it, that was a frag.
That's impressive.
The majority were frags. I mean, how many did you send me down, Ron? You sent me quite a few, didn't you? So you know the size and when you sent them. Was that August that you sent the frags down?
Yeah, August 2024, and I sent you. I can tell you all the names if you want them.
Yep.
Sent you a pink Goniopora, Aussie Duncan, Hulk Acropora.
Which one's that, Ron? Oh, is that one there?
Just a really boring green acro, to be totally honest.
That'll be the green one there, then I'm assuming.
Yep. I sent you the green goblin and Acropora.
That'll be that one there.
Oh, you've got some insane growth since then. I sent you Acropora the Joker, which is the one, the green with the purple
green and red. There next to the PC rainbow.
So, I sent you 3 different mixed colours of acans.
Yep, that'll be 1, 2, 3.
They're looking really good as well. Purple Valida Acropora.
That's behind the pearlberry.
Yeah, you can see the tips on that.
Yep.
Sent you a tricolour Acropora.
That one's, a little bit slower at the back there.
It's mega slow for me.
Yeah.
Interesting. 1 green hammer coral.
That's that one. Yes, it is.
That's the one. Yep. Blue Acropora Curacao.
You'll have to tell me which one that one is.
So it's it's like a staghorn, quite large branches with large axial polyps, big cups on the side. It's got a kind of structure almost a little bit like a tenuis. It was in the photo you sent me earlier, actually.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, that was from around. Oh, that will be this one. That is one of my favourites. I wondered where that was from.
With the pale tips.
Yeah, like a real pale colour.
It's a really weird polyp structure on it, I found.
Lovely. Yeah,
I sent you a teal blue granulosa, but is that the one that died, maybe? I know you lost one of them.
Maybe.
I sent you a pearlberry.
That's your pearlberry there. I did give away probably, so that's sort of 2 pieces. I did give away a piece, probably the same size as half of that.
Excellent. PC Rainbow.
PC Rainbow. In all honesty, I think I have bought 3 of those, looking at them in the store, thinking they were all different. And there's 1, 2. That's another one there, I think, and I think that's another one there.
Oh, they look entirely different in my 2 systems. Totally different. Bill Murray. Let's not talk about Bill Murray.
Yeah, doesn't do well.
And then a couple of acros that I actually put on the bag. I can't remember what it was. Fuctifino or something I called them.
Yeah.
And that was that.
Yeah. So and all of those were, I would say, they were good size frags. They weren't colonies, but they were very good size frags.
You've got so many different species of corals in that tank. That's insane. So is that encrusting Montes on the back you've got?
Yeah, so I've got Paloensis, I've got a Bizarro Cyphostraya, more Paloensis, a couple of Chalice, pink Bossilopora that I'm waiting to come out pink, more Paloensis there, and then Zoas, Paloensis, and then some encrusting on the back.
So you've got so much coral. And we talked about flow, but do you struggle in the middle? Do you think about trying to get another pump somewhere in the middle? Or do the corals do good?
I have thought about trying to get one sort of in the bottom of the weir, coming out of this area here, coming out of the cave. However, I do find that these corals that are here like that lower flow. So anything that that doesn't like that high flow, so such as the Symphilia, the Trachys, the cat, all these sorts of things, the Lobophilia, I tend to tuck those out of the way because they like that lower flow area.
Is there any coral in there you just want to throw in a bush, Steve?
No, I love everything.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, how are you doing, everyone?
I found this not long ago, which is a little mushroom, and I'm not a big Discosoma fan, but that hit me as soon as I walked through the door. It's probably not showing its best at the minute. It's probably too much flow. But if you can see it, it's orange with even brighter orange, yellowy orange flecks on it. Can you see that there?
So that's a mushroom, did you say? It's hard to tell the...
Yeah, it's got too much flow on it, I think. Well, I know it has.
Steve, whereabouts do your returns come in? Is that them at the top? It's difficult to see.
So I've got M2, which splits into 2, left and right. And I tend to just try and use that to break up the vortex a little bit, coming in either side.
What kind of lights do you got on there?
I've got 4 XR30 Pros Radions with narrow angle lenses.
What kind of spectrum do you run? Is it AB?
No, it is just one that I set up, looked at, and I thought, I like that. That was it. I'm very, very boring. It ramps up for an hour in the morning and then ramps down for an hour at night. Other than that, it runs the same spectrum for 10 hours. So I run a 10 hours at full intensity, hour up, hour down.
Well, I'll tell you what, can I get a copy of that spectrum, please? I would love, because you are growing the shit out of corals.
I put that down to a few different things. Do you want me back? So I put that down to a few different things. One is I did this tank in live rock. And I haven't used, same as probably a lot of people, live rock in a very long time. So I took the decision and bought 2 boxes of live rock to go in there. Started with auto water changing and modern reef RKS from day one. And it is
so what did you
easy.
What did you do with everything in the 8-footer then? Did you just
got rid of it all?
You didn't pull any? Wow.
I saved a few pieces with friends So I've got a smooth skin red acropora in there that I got as a tiny, tiny little frag years ago. And I gave that to my friend. He then, when I was ready, chopped it in half, and I've now got a piece about that big. But it's so slow growing, but it's stunning. There was a few other pieces that I dotted around with friends as well to save for me, but the majority I got rid of. I had a stylophora that a friend of mine from Leicester came for, and it wouldn't fit in a polybox, purple stylo. We ended up putting it in a big muck tub, like a big builder's muck tub, with a bin bag over the top of it for him to get home with it. So there was a lot of big corals in there by the end. And to be fair, if that was still running now, it would probably just need hacking to try and get back on top of it again.
So do you want to take us through what fish you've got in there, Steve? Because it doesn't look overstocked. It looks just right.
I'm pleased you've said that because I would like some more fish.
I was going to say it looks a bit thin on fish.
Didn't have fish, Lee. Yeah, it doesn't have 500 in there.
I am pleased to see there's no chromis.
I was just thinking about 20 chromis. Lee said he knows somewhere.
Yeah, my tank.
So there was one more fish in there, and he is in the sump at the moment, which was a magnificent foxface that I caught nipping at my acans and my scollies the other day. I thought that things weren't looking quite right, so he's now in the sump waiting to go to the store. Other than that, I have got a gem tang. It's the only tang that's in there. Got a pair of Bellis angels, a female Watanabe angel, a pair of Percula clowns, I think there's a couple of flashes in there, pintail wrasse, Nikoi, yellowtail tamarin.
You've got a Naoko in there as well, haven't you? I saw that earlier.
Yeah. What else have I got? I can never remember. Parabangais. Oh, and 3 Royal Grammars.
3?
Yeah, I always keep them in 3s.
That's interesting. They can be such dicks.
Is there any aggression between the Watanabes and the Bellis?
Little bit, yes. I would like a male Watanabe. I don't know if it's going to cause me more problems than good. They did all go in on the same day as well.
What about cleanup crew other than because it looks great?
I've got I think there's about 6 tuxedos in there. Blackfoot trochus, which just tend to breed for fun. So I dread to think how many there is in there now. I've got some little tiny snails. I don't know what they call them. Friend of mine who owns a shop said to me, "You need some of them." And he threw me 6 or 8 in a bag. I think there's probably about 200 of them things in there now. I managed to get hold of some true peppermint shrimps this week. So I've seen a few Aptasias pop up. So I've thrown them in there. Sand sifting starfish. That's about it. I tend to find that the Blackfoots do the majority of the work in most systems.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
You don't have any coral nippers? Fish are,
any what,
notice? Any coral nippers? Any fish that are nipping at corals? You get
not now. I've got the fox face.
He's in the sump.
It's been a bit of a week for incidents, shall we say? So I don't know if anybody else knows the modern reef RKS reef keeping system, but you feed a product called Polypop and a product called Complete Food. The Polypop is sort of your aminos, your acids, all that sort of thing. I was having some photos done of my tank and I was tidying up the cabinet and this, that and the other, and I put the wrong tube into the bottle. So instead of dosing 25 mil of it this week, I've dosed 200 mil. I kept looking at my tank thinking, something's not quite right. Something's not quite right. Found that and I thought, that's what it is. And then also found my fox face nipping at Scollies and acans. I thought, that's not going to help. So I've been doing 50-litre water changes for the past 3 days, and it's starting to turn around now. There's a couple of bits that still look a bit sulky, like the cataphilia. There's a couple of SPS that have stripped a little bit, but hopefully I've
just wait till after the tank tour.
Say again?
Just wait till after the tank tour.
Yeah.
Everybody's tanks go south right after our tank tours.
Tour cursed.
One of the enemies has escaped as well, and that's now sat underneath the rock work. I'm just wondering whereabouts in between my favourite SPS that's going to pop up.
So I always wonder, why do people keep anemones in a box where they can't even see them?
So those are going in my office tank, which I've got a 2-foot office tank. So those are over 20 years old. My business partner, he had them. He doesn't have a tank now. So I got custody of the last 2, shall we say, which weren't looking the greatest at the time. Brought those round, and now we've got about 10. But every time I go to the office to try and get the tank sorted, something else happens and I have to deal with it. So unfortunately, yes, they are in jail at the moment.
It seems to be a common theme with people called Steve not being able to dose their tanks correctly. Sorry, Steve.
Brutal.
I mean, it's true. How do you find working in the industry and owning a saltwater aquarium, Steve? Do you find it is better or more exciting, or do sometimes you come home and go, fuck this?
In the past, I've found it difficult, and I don't know if any of you guys know Jeremy Simmons. So he's my business partner. He's been around for since God were a lad, and he's been in the industry for a very long time. And we discussed the feasibility of me actually having a reef tank again. As much as I loved one, was it possible to be able to leave it for anywhere up to a month and let it do its own thing? So because of the way that I run this now, I absolutely love it. And I am probably more addicted to the hobby than I ever have been, because I've taken away a lot of the headaches and a lot of the maintenance that I used to have to do. So on my old tank, I had a 250-litre barrel that would come out of the shed, sit in the dining room, I'd then fill it up with salt water, warm it up. Well, by the time that I get round to it, well, that's a week later that we've had that barrel sat in the dining room. My wife's then screaming at me, get this thing out of my dining room. So I do the water change, and then the week later it's back in again, and it's there for another week. And so I needed to be able to get away from all of that, which I've managed to do with this tank, and I'm really, really enjoying it. When I used to work in retail, and you're cleaning tanks every day, and you're feeding the fish every day, and you're dealing with things every single day, then yes, that was a chore to come home and then think, oh, I've got to do another water change. Oh, I've got to clean the glass. It was the last thing that you wanted to do. Now I'm obviously on the distribution side. I don't get to see the livestock. I don't get to get my hands in the water. So I do enjoy that side of it now.
I think automatic water changes have been one of the biggest game changers for me. And I know somebody who is in this chat here will hate me saying this, but roller filters as well, absolutely incredible. I just love how months you can go. I mean, I've got weeks and weeks of water stored there, and it just churns away all day, every day, just slowly taking water out, slowly putting water in. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the prime example that I overdosed with Polypop for a week. I thought, right, okay, I don't know what the effects are going to be. I'm still waiting to find out what the total effects are, but I just turned my auto water change up to doing 50 litres a day rather than 10.
Yeah.
Left it to it.
Simple as. So what is Polypop? I've never heard of it.
Polypop is a mixture of amino acids, lipids, planktons, that sort of thing. I don't know exactly what is in it, and I don't know the full effects of overdosing it yet. Some of my corals I've got a little blue acro that's in there, and that has gone real pastel blue. So I'm assuming it's killed off some of the zooxanthellae in the coral, but it's still alive, so that's okay.
That's interesting because
migrate into the tips.
Say again.
Zooxanthellae migrate into the tips, I guess.
That poor guy is never ever going to be allowed to live that down ever. We had a tank tour, Steve, and there was a dead acro in a tank, and he said he thought the zooxanthellae was just migrating up and out of the tips.
Okay, that'll be why I didn't understand the comment.
Yeah,
sorry, inside joke.
Yeah, there's
to be fair, he's very new. He's real new into the hobby. He didn't know no better.
At least he knows about zooxanthellae.
Correct.
There's a lot of hobbyists that have been in the hobby for years that don't know what it is.
Yep. Yeah. So can we get a little look in your cabinet, Steve?
You can.
I was about to ask that.
When you want to go first, I suppose, is the.
Let's see the undercarriage.
Have to excuse any mess. So we run in through a filter roller. This is micro tracers and wastewater for the auto water change. Neptune probes, Cyprax, Quantum 160 skimmer, S2 for the UVs, M2 for the return, RKS, auto water changing, and I think nitrate and phosphate on there. I've also got backup temperature and salinity, and my top up straight from my RO unit. So I don't have an RO top up reservoir. I just come straight from the RO unit. Through.
You don't have a light in your cabinet, Steve?
Nope. Why?
Oh, just so we can see it better. So is that just a gigantic box of Cyprax? Did you set it and stack it all?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Very boring, very arduous.
Did you do it yesterday or this morning?
That was 9 months ago when I set the tank up.
Okay.
I do tend to keep things like my frag plugs in here to keep them wet. If I'm ever using any frag plugs for anything.
How are you got your UV set for, Steve? Are you running it for parasite or just for water clarity?
Both. So I've got. Can you see that? So it's a very tight squeeze in there.
I can fit in there, Steve. It's not too tight.
Dave, that's bigger than your bedroom.
I know. Yeah,
that is Dave's bedroom.
So we run into where do I go here? So into one UV, out of that one, into the other, out of there, and then back out.
How often are you using a chiller there? Sorry.
Say again, sorry.
TMC Vectrum in it.
Yeah, so 225 watts.
That's the end of the tour, everybody.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Go into a ball of flames.
How often are you needing to use that chiller? Like, how hot does it get there in summer?
Not very hot. It's more when my wife puts the heating on then it's needed. I have also got from my.
Have you got any vents in there for chiller?
The back is completely open, but I've also got an extractor fan in the back wall as well, which I promised myself I will set up before summer to run on the Neptune.
When you say the back's open, Steve, does that go out through the wall or is that out into the wall?
But I also have a gap down the back of my tank as well. So I don't know if you can see, but there's probably 3 or 4 inches down the back as well. So there's a gap down the back of here. That panel cuts off maybe 3 inches under the water there. So that comes down there. And then there's an air gap that runs all the way around and all the way through. And then obviously the extractor on the top. And then in this one, apart from all the mess, we've got all the dry sides for the vortex.
Slick.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, that's great.
And then the DOS, those two run the RKS, and then you've just got they just run through a panel on the back, all down through trunking.
I may have missed it. How do you control nitrate phosphates in there, Steve?
As in dosing wise?
Well, if you dose to remove or
no, I had it in. So
you're adding it in.
Phosphate. Yeah, I've got nitrate and phosphate, RKS, set of verses running the nitrate phosphate, was running polypop, but I will remember to put that in the correct one next time, and complete food on a stirrer. And then I've got a Neptune Energy Bar FMM module in this side. And then Vortex drivers all along the door. And power supplies are actually on the roof of the cabinet there. I don't know if you can see that. But they all live on the roof.
Have you got your automatic water change running through the new Quiet DOS or the original?
I certainly have.
What a difference that makes.
Yep. So that's my auto water change. Luckily enough, this is an external wall, so everything just goes through there. There's a drain just the other side, and that's where the auto water change barrel is as well. So again, dry sides all down there.
So your saltwater actually sits outdoors?
Yes. Yep.
You never find any issues with that?
No, a friend of mine makes chemical tanks for a living. So he made me a sealed chemical tank that I can get. It's got a big lid on it, and I just twist that off. And all that I did was take an airline from it and bring it inside the house.
That's ideal.
So it's literally just the other side of the wall, just clad with Celotex. And then I've got battery backup. This is my top-up system. So I've got solenoid for waste, solenoid for RO, and then bypasses if I need RO in the house. Or I've also got a tap that automatically fills the barrel outside, which has got Neptune sensors on it. So it can turn itself off when it reaches maximum level outside.
Did you just say using solenoid for your auto top-up?
Yep.
I don't thought of doing that.
Yep.
Right.
So you've got
very ingenious.
One that runs to waste, one that runs to RO. It runs on the magnetic optical sensors in the sump.
Yeah.
So it's got a delay on it. So the waste turns on for a minute, flushes the RO system out. Then it will open up the RO side and automatically top up the unit. I do find that I burn through DI a bit faster than normal. So I usually get about 6 weeks. But other than that, it's ideal. And then I've got my Tridents running down there. So the standard Trident runs straight out the door and down, straight out the wall and down to waste. And then the MP, because you can't, runs into a barrel. And
Steve, the way that you've used those cabinets, the way that you've trimmed the tank, you set up the pelmet, all in, it just looks so professional. It looks really, really tidy. Really nice.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, the entire thing was just really about trying to make my life as easy as possible and for nobody to have to do anything when I'm not here. So even my wife was shocked when I went away last, and she said to me, so what do I need to do? And I said, absolutely nothing. So this is the last cabinet where I run all my tracers for micro dosing. I made a liquid feeder as well. So that's got Gold Pods, Artemis and Chromis in it. It's a little bit of a cobbled together sort of thing. I don't know if you can see that at the back there. Where it's got a beam up in the bottom, it pumps the food up, but you've got to work it on a delay into the length of the pipe, and then it's got to drain the pipe back down afterwards. So
you say it's got Chromis in it, Steve? What, you blended some up and
as much as Lee would love to hear that, no, not Nios Chromis, which is a mysis shrimp. So it's got mysis, Artemis, and Gold Pods.
And it goes through RO piping, okay?
It's not RO piping. That's small EIM pipe. Is it 6 8 mil or 8 11 or something like that?
Yeah, but
is that cool?
I know which one you mean.
Cooled?
It's in a brine solution, so you don't need to keep it cold. It's encapsulated. So that runs up the back, across the back of the pelmet here, and then comes into here and feeds in. And that goes off, I think it's twice a day. And then I've got 2 pellet feeders that go off a couple of times a day as well.
This is impressive.
That is slick.
Let me guess, is it the Apex pellet feeders?
Yeah, they're the AFS. So I use
the drills.
Yes, they're the ones. Yeah, they're not the quietest of things, but they work. So I feed Reef Nutrition TDO in one, and then a mixture of Nios and Modern Reef pellet in the other one.
So your neighbours know when you feed?
Yeah, and they're 2 miles away.
Yeah.
And then I've got the rest of my Neptune here. So I've got the brain, another 3 heads, another energy bar there, FMM, and a PM2. So this FMM is mostly for outside. So that runs my optical sensors for the auto water change barrel.
And what kind of salt are you using?
Say again?
What kind of salt do you use?
Nios Pure.
Nios.
Yeah. Well, we are the distributor of it, so I am obviously biased.
Are you thinking of swapping over to the Nios system on it, Steve, or not?
If I'm brutally honest, no.
No, fair enough.
No, I'm a big believer in, if it works, it works. It's same as people have said to me, are you going to put Strattons on? And I know that Ron's a big lover of his Stratton. I've been using Radians since Gen 3. They work. Could I get more out of the coral growth? I'm not sure I could, if I'm honest. I feel pretty happy with the way that it's running at the moment.
Yeah, I wouldn't even have considered the Stratton if it wasn't for the silence aspect of it. I mean, even sitting here doing these tank tours, when I had my 2 XR30 Radiants next to me, you could actually hear them through the microphone, and sometimes, you know, the outside of the light would actually creak and crack and make noises and stuff as it heated up and cooled down. Absolute and utter silent bliss with the Stratton. I absolutely love it. And the coral growth is bonkers.
And that's the thing, they are a great light, and I'm certainly not saying that one is better than the other or one method is better than somebody else's. What I'm saying is the way that this system is running for me at this point, I don't feel the need to change anything.
No, I wouldn't take Radians down to put Strattons up. If you're on a new build, then you might get tempted to maybe try it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, super slick.
I love it looks awesome. I love, like, I know a lot of you guys have the hanging lights and no hood, and that's just like Tater's tank where he built the floating hood around the lights, and I think that just looks great.
It made my wife happy. She didn't like any of the options that I was bringing home at all. So
first time for everything, Steve.
Divorce number 2 live on a tank tour.
Wouldn't be the first divorce that I knew that was caused by the hobby.
Yeah, it's a stupid hobby. So it is. It's crazy. Does anyone have any other questions for Steve about his tank? What heaters?
No, but you know, my tank's been up the same amount of time and it doesn't look like that.
Oh, Jason, don't.
What a kick in the dick. Jason. It's fantastic, though. I love it. What a kick in the dick.
Yeah, but Jason, your tank tours had way more views, mate.
So what other fish are you thinking of getting fit then, Steve, other than 20 chromas?
I would like to get some Antheus. I would love some Purple Queen Antheus, the Tukas.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
one that I've never kept. I usually end up with Bartlett's or Evans eyes, and I always end up in the same situation where I buy 6 or 8 and end up with 3. I would like to try something different. Finding them is one thing. Finding that are rested is another thing.
And feeding.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I definitely like a pair of mandarins or a pair of red scooters, something like that for round the bottom area. But not a lot more. I just can't. I can't fit them in.
I did notice the big deshi or meat coral you've got on the right hand side of your tank. Yeah, beautiful. How long have you had that? Obviously, recently then.
That was a rescue. That's so a lot of that corner, to be honest, are all rescues. So you will see that some of them are completely misshapen, etc. Dead on one corner. So that one I have had probably 3 months. I can start to see a little bit of colour starting to come through on that one. The one behind it, the green one, that one's probably 5 months. My local store sourced me that out of somebody's tank. And that wasn't doing too hot, shall we say.
What do you use to try get colour back? Anything specific or just
time?
200 ml a day of pollet pop. Go for it.
Time is the biggest one. I used to target feed them. I haven't seen a difference from stopping target feeding them.
Yeah, I've stopped target feeding entirely now, other than my Acans, Lobo, and my Duncans. Everything else, I just fish poo seems to do the job, and I've not seen any benefit other than a little bit of coloration on a few things, but it's not worth it. The phosphate levels and stuff like that just go absolutely insane.
Yeah, when I get bored every now and again and I'm passing the tank, I think, oh well, I'll make up a mix.
Yeah, it is about our boredom, though, isn't it?
Yep. Yep. When I just sort of throw a bit of everything in a little pot and throw that in. The corals seem to like it. Do they need it? I would say not, because they might get it once a week, they might get it once a month, they might get it once every other month. Just sort of when I think, oh, what can I do?
Are we still on about your tank or Tom's sex life?
Yes.
Both. Both. Yeah, that makes sense.
Steve could be a politician. Poor guy, sitting there like, nope, not answering that.
Steve, have you had any challenges you've had to overcome? Because it sounds like the perfect story, the perfect tank. I mean, it's stunning. But have you had any challenges at all? Or
the biggest challenge that I had was because I use live rock. I got seaweed growing, and there was like 3 different types of seaweed.
Wow!
I could not clear it, no matter what. That's why the fox face was in there, to try and get through it. Urchins wouldn't shift it. I tried all sorts. My local store managed to get me a sea hare, and he worked his way through it in the end. But it wasn't algae; it was seaweed. There was a few different types of it.
Where did you get your live rock from, Steve? Do you know whereabouts geographically?
No, I don't. It was
Scarborough.
It was from TMC ultimately, so I don't know where it came from. I know that it went from TMC to store. Then obviously,
I know, and they went through a phase of getting it from Australia to TMC, but that were a few years back.
No. Now, to be fair, it was very, very nice stuff. Some of the best live rock I've seen in a long time.
You just don't see it nowadays, though. That's the thing.
No, and when you do see it, even for me, it was very expensive.
Yeah.
Wow, that's not cheap anymore.
I can't believe, standing in store looking at that beautiful Pucani stuff that used to come in, and you just can't get it anymore. It's just something you just take for granted.
Yep. I mean, it used to, when I was retail, I think we used to sell live rock at about £12 to £15 a kilo. The chances of that nowadays are just non-existent.
Yeah, it was about 14 quid when I bought mine, yeah. But the Picani stuff was so light and porous, you actually got quite a lot for your money if you left it to drain while Willie's back was turned.
I used to get the boxes of 25 kilo off of a mate for short about 50 quid at Fiji stuff.
That's crazy.
Cost me 50 quid for 2 kilos at AAC the other week.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, that's 40 kilo. They're coming 20 kilo boxes now rather than 25, and that cost me an arm and a leg.
Aside from the seaweed, did any interesting critters come on the live rock? That was always so much fun seeing what would pop up.
I haven't seen anything as of yet. Obviously, we are only 9 months in. I could have anything come out of there at this point. I've had a few Aptasias pop up. Did they come in on the live rock or did they come in on the base of a coral? I couldn't tell you.
They're all from me, Steve.
Thank you, Ron. You are my hero.
I am joking, obviously.
I thought they were freebies. I was gonna start fragging them up and sending them back.
Yeah, brilliant. I'll take them.
That would rob them. I got something on my live rock.
No, it's glass and enemies when you sell them.
Pure class and enemies.
Yeah. But no, I've got to say it is one of the things I have been contemplating an upgrade, and I've had so many tanks over the years, and I've always had that one every now and again will not work no matter what you do. It just won't take for some reason or another. You end up stripping it down. And I do question if this is the tank that is the opposite of that, and it just works and does everything, and I've just dropped lucky. It's luck rather than skill. I don't know. And that is always in the back of my mind of, well, if I change it, will I be able to replicate it as well as what I have?
So do you have anything in the pipeline, Steve? Any plans?
I am waiting for a quote coming back on a tank. Am I going to pull the trigger on it? Probably not this year if I do decide that I'm going to do it.
Steve, I'm sure you told me you were going to go for it.
It did on other channel.
Yeah, and I've got a lot on this year. That's
all right, mate. Leave it to the wife.
If you get Nick to build your cabinet, it won't be ready for a few years anyway.
Behave yourself, Darren.
Or just do the same as Dave, have a few drinks and then go and order it whilst you're pissed.
Yeah, it's fine.
Were you steaming when you ordered that tank?
Yes, he was.
Dave was, yeah.
No.
Yeah, damn right I was. Yeah, it was a jolly boys outing, weren't it?
And we was all encouraging him.
Yeah, don't take a lot of encouragement from me.
Get a shark.
Get a shark. No, I'm not that stupid. I'm stupid, but not that stupid.
I see Kraken post another shark a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it's a bad thing.
They had one in their coral bay, didn't they, that hatched out from an egg?
Yeah.
Even Liam is anti-sharks now. He's now saying no to sharks. I think even
him and Jeremy are heading to Parliament, aren't they?
Yeah, did he not change his little Jeremy doll?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, we were supposed to be doing, whether he did or not.
I mean, the story of him dropping off the shark and then literally put it into the tank and it ate one of his fish straight away made me chuckle, but
instantly.
Instant fish eating, yeah.
It'd have been all right if it was Cronus. Nobody would have minded.
Did he send Jeremy a Valentine's Day card?
I think so.
Trying to make up?
Does anyone have any other questions for Steve before this turns into total shenanigans?
So this upgrade you're getting, Steve, what size is it going to be if you get it?
Potentially.
The quote that I've got at the moment is to go back 8x4, but I'm going to drop down to 30 inches rather than 32. And it's going to have a false panel in the back with either we're left and right and then a big dry chamber in the middle, or vice versa, we're in the middle and dry chambers left and right.
So let me guess, for MPs.
Yeah.
And then
order it live.
Order it live. Let's just do it now.
Do it.
Is it going to replace this tank?
Yeah, and that's my biggest concern. So you guys sound like my wife. She wants it more than I do. The fish.
We've all heard that. Sorry. I couldn't I've got Tourette's. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
Hold on a minute. So your wife wants you to order a new tank.
Yep.
And you haven't pulled that trigger?
No.
Wow.
So
that's not usually what we hear.
No. So the new tank will go where this tank is, which means that I need to move this tank into another room, keep it running without losing anything, and then have the new one built and then transfer everything over. So
that's a lot.
A bit more hassle. Yeah.
It's like you need 3 tanks, isn't it? You need one to move all that stuff into, then get rid of that one, then put the new one in there. So it's like
I just change mine every week. I've just get used to it.
The new tank is bigger than this one, isn't it? So you could get it built around that one, then just break the glass.
Yeah. Steve, how many staff have you got at Exodus? Because they could definitely give you a hand.
Fuck you, Dave.
Hey, that's wrong. Staff is key.
Correct.
Lee says he's going to come and give me a hand.
I'd quite happily come and help you, Steve. You know that, mate. It was me shifting Liam's when we were there.
Tom will be there to video.
True. So would you
it cracks me up every time I see that video.
Then, Steve.
Say again, sorry, Ron.
Aluminium stand?
Yes. Yeah, friend of mine owns an engineering company, and he's already said to me he'll build me the stand out of aluminium profile, and
perfect.
I'll just drop it off.
And you've still got the concrete floor under where that one is currently, so it's just ready to go.
Yep.
So, have you told me why you're going to change the tank? Is there a reason?
I've run out of room.
Is that literally the only reason? Okay, so rather than do what we all do, which is just keep buying more tanks, you're going to do the actual mature thing, get rid of one and get another one.
Yeah.
What's the plan for that tank behind you then?
I don't know. I wouldn't keep it. I would only have one tank. I've had multiple tanks in the past, and it never goes well.
Well, now you've got it set up to run on its own. You can just let it run. Auto feed, auto tap off, auto.
But that only works because my RO water comes in this side, and the waste runs out that side, and the salt water's that side. So if I move the tank to the opposite end of the house, I start
longer tubes.
Problems. It's what? Sorry.
Longer tubes.
That's Jim's blue sky thinking.
Got half pump for distance. Mind you, anyway.
Yeah. So how do you do? I mean, where do you live that you don't have to deal with temperature outside? Having a barrel and.
I'm in the Midlands in the UK.
Does it get too cold?
No, I mean we've had -6, -8 this winter. It's been fine.
Has it got any form of insulation on your tank then, or is it just bare bones?
No, it's got Celotex all the way around it.
I thought you said that, but I couldn't remember what.
Yeah, king span insulation. All 4 sides and on the base.
You have to go out there to mix the water?
In what way?
Well, you got to go dump salt, fill it up with RO, dump salt.
But that runs through the bypasses from inside of the RO unit. So I turn it all on from the inside. Then when it reaches the top of the barrel, it's got a float switch in there and optical sensors through Neptune that then will alert me that it's full, so I can turn it off. And it takes just over a full bucket of salt. So I just pour a bucket of salt in.
So your neighbours see you with a gigantic bag of white powder.
Yeah, we're going to party over there.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you've got a mixing pump in there as well then.
Yeah, I've got a Vector in there that runs again through Neptune. And I just I turn it on for an hour, then turn it back off, and that's it.
I'm really, really intrigued by this Nios salt. I'm not going to lie.
I'm intrigued by your feed,
Mine's
your
about the
auto
same, about
feeder.
an hour, and it mixes great. Also an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I think got 3 people asking then.
Yeah.
And then
No one at all.
Right, so Jim, you go first.
I'm intrigued by the auto feeder. I mean, it basically feeding mysis and brine with no refrigerator.
No, it's a Nios product, so the product is never frozen. It's encapsulated in a brine solution.
Yeah.
So I pour it in the brine solution, so it's just like it's staying in the bottle, and then it also feeds through the PMUP. But because it's a larger diameter pipe, and the pipe drains back down, it never sits and dries out in the pipework.
It's clever. I like that.
Yeah.
It took a bit of working out with deferments on how long to have the pump on for. So I ended up with snowstorms, ended up with no food at all. I've ended up with all sorts of situations. And if I let the food get more than halfway down the tube, there's not enough in the tube then to push it all the way through to the other end of the pipe. So I've also got to make sure it's topped up. I think I'm going to make a really tall one.
Does it not go to like mush shows, Steve? Like the mysis and that?
No.
No, it stays in.
If you use a dosing pump, then yes, it does, because what it does is it damages it as it's going right through the tube.
Yeah.
But because it's going through an impeller pump, it's obviously passing that through. I'm sure it chops up some of it, but.
So I know you probably said, and I must have missed it. What pump are you using to pump it up then?
PMUP. Neptune PMUP.
Oh, one of the little.
Because it feeds from the bottom and it's round, it just drops straight in and sits upright.
Oh, I've got a spare one of them as well.
And then is it gravity that you allow to just pull it back? You don't.
Yes. So I've tie wrapped the pipe, so the pipe comes straight up to the top of the pelmet on the back, and then it's tie wrapped with little sticky dots all the way along the back on a slight angle. So then when it gets to the end, it pushes over the top, but then when the pump goes off, it then drains back down.
You do realise you've just made yourself a new product to sell at Exodus.
I would love to be able to. The issue is that it is all on diameter of pipe, length of pipe versus time of pump on. So
I'm guessing it's just a standard basic line of code in your Apex on the 24-volt plug socket thing.
Yep. It is very, very simple to program. You've just got to adjust that to suit the length of the pipe.
Yeah, so
I've got a lot of Aquaforest liquid mysis, and it'd be ideal for that.
Yeah. So I mean, I can turn it on and show you.
How did you dial it in? Did you dose it into like
trial and error?
Yep.
Trial and error.
So you don't have any idea how many milliliters of solution mixed food you're dosing at a time?
No.
I would think you could dial that in a little more scientifically if you wanted.
I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
If I just click this on, and I'm just going to do it to I. Yep. Says.
As we're all watching, this is going to be the one time it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That all pipe spews off.
Just going to fuck it right up.
The Neptune just crashes. That's it. All coding gone.
And it won't switch back off.
The brain. Yeah. It won't switch off.
Oh, there we go.
You could probably get away with you using 3/8 RO tubing, then, couldn't you?
That's what I was going to say. 10 mil.
I think it will clog up.
Yeah, too small.
How thick of tubing are you using?
It'd be 9/16 will that EIM stuff going, but look at it.
9/12.
Close.
9/12.
And is the container underneath a sealed unit, Steve, so you can't smell it?
No, it's a bubble magus dosing chamber, the smallest size.
What is 912?
9mm internal diameter, 12mm external diameter.
Okay.
Only a millimeter less is
half inch, Jim.
I think
9mm. It's at 5/16, right?
We're all sitting here tempted to do this now.
It's
awesome.
It has made my life easier because I was concerned of just feeding dried food. Frozen food, okay, I'm sure it has its advantages, but for me, just wasn't really a possibility. I looked at the frozen feeder that's just been launched end of last year.
Yeah, I know.
I saw that.
A friend of mine bought one and didn't have great success with it. So yeah, I just came up with that, and it seems to work for me.
So which mice is that food you're using? Sorry, Steve, which mice is it you're using?
What is it?
What food are you putting in the
Nios foods? Chromis, Artemis, and gold pods I put in there. And I just
a little bottle that you get in.
250ml bottles, and I just pour one of each in.
Chromis, Artemis, and gold pods.
No, is it about 16-ish pound a bottle?
And you got it tuned to the second, right? Like that's going through there. That could, 15 seconds over 5 could put a shit ton more food in.
Yes. So that was the so this is. Let me move that. There you go.
There we go.
So that is my programming for that.
Screenshot, copy that later.
Yep. Everybody got it? No, absolutely. Use it.
Dave Lee, how do you program an Apex, please?
Yeah, I've got the exact same system using on my
Lee's screenshot.
Neck washer.
Yeah. Everybody got it that wants it.
Your screen's gone dark, Steve.
Is it? Oh, hang on.
No, on your phone.
Oh.
This will be uploaded to YouTube later, you goons.
There you go.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing I've got on neck washer for me Deltec.
Yeah. It's literally just a case of standing there and overfeeding your tank until you get it right.
Steve, just so you know, your OnlyFans password just popped up as well, so I've got that. Thanks, mate.
That's all right, mate, no problem. I got your payment the other day as well, thank you.
Well done, Steve.
Stop Can you stop falling into arrears with your account, though?
The old switcheroo.
I like it. Nice.
Coach just got it shoved right up his arse.
Strange question. Do you still do the trade sacks of the Nios salt?
For shops, yes.
Yeah.
I'm
at the minute I'm still using TMC, but I'm tempted to try it Nios. And obviously I help out in the shops.
Aquaforest are watching. Aquaforest.
There won't give you enough salt. What Aquaforest? That's the thing. The 25 litres
you dumped
a day,
it all over the floor.
I got a couple of 22 kilo barrels of blue bucket if you want it, Lee.
No, you're right, mate. I'll give that a miss.
Okay.
You've all behaved so well for an hour and 15 minutes. I'm so proud.
I know, it's good. Good for us.
Yeah,
well, good for
send
me.
people.
I'm genuinely
Send people.
Good for us.
Steve, did you say you get your fish from TMC?
No. So the live rock came from TMC, but I didn't buy it from TMC. As much as I'm in the trade, I don't get the ability to go to TMC. So I buy my livestock from stores, same as everybody else.
Right, thank you.
Darren's on his soapbox with TMC. I can feel it.
No. Honestly, it was just an honest question, like whether he got them directly through them or whether he got them through an LFS or somebody else.
No.
But yes, Ron, you know my thoughts.
Yes.
So have you always struggled with nitrate phosphate keeping it up then, Steve?
No, and you know what? I was
no, not keeping it up like that, you dirty fuckers.
Yeah, John and I both sniggered instantly.
Yeah.
Dave's been ruined since he's got back from Dam. He's struggling.
Sorry, Steve.
I actually had a conversation with a store this week of when I was in retail, which is going to be 15 years ago. If somebody walked through the door and asked you to buy nitrate and phosphate, you would have given them a bag of water, because all that we ever heard coming through that door was, can't get me nitrate down, can't get me phosphate down. And now the amount of litres of nitrate and phosphate that gets sold throughout the hobby is unreal.
Why do you think that is, Steve?
I think it's a case of that we know more about what we're doing. The corals we are keeping better, so their uptake of nitrate and phosphate is so much more than it ever was. When we used to sit there and say, "Oh, I've managed to keep a SPS alive," and yes, you have. We have kept a bird's nest alive, and it has grown 10 millimeters in the past 6 months. But we've just got better at what we do. The equipment is better.
I'm going to say the filtration systems that we have now compared to even just 5 years ago, far superior.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the trade for over 15 years, and I think there was probably a 5 to 7 year period where I feel as though the hobby jumped forward 10 to 20 years in comparison to what had happened 10 to 20 years before that.
Yeah, things just accelerated.
Yeah.
When I had that 4 year off, the difference when I came back into it were untrue.
Yeah.
I'm just blown away you get that kind of growth without metal halides and calc.
No. I haven't used calc for years. The best thing that I've seen online, I think last year, was somebody commenting that they found a new product that was absolutely amazing, Kalkwasser. And I just thought, wow, I haven't heard that one for a long time.
The guys on Reefy
coming back round again.
Yeah, they talk quite a lot in their podcast about how people forget entirely 10 years ago, and then it gets discovered as this new thing, and just every 10, 15 years it just comes back and comes back and comes back. I suppose it's like fashion, isn't it?
Flares.
Both the Merkins come back.
I don't know if I missed it as well. What kind of levels do you keep your parameters at as such in your tank? I don't know if this was said earlier when I was driving.
As in nutrient levels or
nutrient, calcium, and mag.
So nutrient generally anywhere between 5 and 10 on the nitrate, and 0.05 to 0.089 on the phosphate.
Yeah. Okay. And alkalinity and calcium, etc.
Don't know.
I'll
tell you in a minute.
Here we go.
So at the moment, I'm running 435 on calcium, 4.5 on alkalinity, and 1250 on magnesium. However, my magnesium is a little bit low because, just to add to the trifecta of issues that I've had this week, the acrylic rod that sits in the top of the magnesium bottle had come detached from the dosing line.
Did you say your alk?
Yeah.
On magnesium.
What did you say your alk was, though?
7.5.
Okay. I thought you said 4.5.
You did, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Accidentally,
I thought you said that too.
We're all
I just
sitting here
switch
so
my doser
polite,
off.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I
you're
just
not
switched my doser off instantly. I was like, right, is that how you broke
Yeah,
off?
that's it.
Fucking
I'm
smash
going
it
to
off.
4.5 this afternoon.
Okay, there we go.
You're not chasing pH or anything?
No, I don't believe in chasing numbers. What I believe in is find a trend and leave it. As long as I've got a steady line, I don't. In all honesty, if my alkalinity was at 6, as long as it was a solid 6 all the time, I wouldn't be worrying. When I would worry is if it was jumping from 6 to 8, 10, back down. That'd be when I'm concerned.
If you set your doser up to dose off your Trident, i.e., cool.
No, I know people that do, and there is a lot of fallbacks that you can put in there. I do feel that I like to be able to just have that little bit of control over it, and because I run it on DOS, I can log in every day. Even when I'm away, I log in and I can make alterations to suit whatever I want to be able to do. But I'm on 90 mil a day of the 7.7 at the moment. And that seems to have kept it quite stable. Seems to have been there for about 4 or 5 weeks now. I haven't had to adjust that.
Your growth is insane. Like you could leave for a couple weeks and you have enough solution that it just keeps.
Yeah. So the 90 mil a day, that's 5 litre barrels. And then the auto water change, I think that barrel is somewhere between 550 and 650 litres. And then the RO top up obviously runs straight from the RO unit. So as long as I make sure that everything is full before I leave, yeah, I'm good.
I can't believe how that tank looks for 9 months. It's bonkers, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about stability all the time, and you've got it set up where everything runs consistently, and it just preaches to that. Keep your tank stable, keep it the same, and
100% agree. And I think I'm a massive advocate of the auto water changing, and this is the first tank that I've ever done it on. And I've thought about it in the past and whether it's been possible or not, etc. I would never run a tank without auto water changing it, just because it does keep everything stable. I don't even have to warm the water up because it's coming in such a slow rate of 10 litres over 24 hours. It just gets mixed in straight away. And yes, I know there is arguments for and against it, and I know that you are less effective by doing it the way that I'm doing it by probably 10 to 20%. However, I know that water change is done every single day.
And you don't get wet floor.
What did you
Sorry,
say?
I missed off that.
I said you don't get a wet floor and you don't have to lug buckets.
Yeah.
It's for the benefits you get, losing that 10, 20%, worthwhile every day.
Yeah.
Just don't overthink it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I get to sit and enjoy the tank more, which has been very, very nice.
I know year I first set mine up, it was about 3-4 years ago now. I got really poorly. And if it hadn't been for auto water change, system would have died. There were no two ways about it.
Yep.
How many
You can't
gallons is
die
that?
again, really.
What was that, Dave?
I said you're not allowed to die again.
No, not again, no. 4's enough for me, I must admit.
Steve, how many gallons is that tank system?
I would say with displacement, it's probably about 400 litres. I don't know what that is in US gallons.
100 gallons about?
Yeah, okay.
How many cups?
Nothing.
How many what, sorry?
Dave is just rattling off every inside joke. Steve's like that. Steve is totally clueless to this. Behave yourself.
Sorry.
So Steve, you said you're not using Calcrosser. Does the modern Reef have like a pH buffer in it?
Not that I know of. It's two parts alkalinity, one part mag, one part calcium. Just trying to see what sort of swing I get. So I go down to 7.83 on a night and up to 8.54 through the day.
That's pretty good.
So
no CO2 scrubbers or anything? Or
no, it is one of the things that I am going to add, but I want to situate it outside. There's sort of 4 of us that live in the house, 2 dogs. So I think by putting it in the cabinet, I'm just going to burn through media. So I'd like to fit it to outside and then feeding from outside. So I'm getting the best of both worlds.
Don't just leave the windows open. Just get rid of windows in your house.
It has been mentioned in the past to just sort of put a big window here and fill it full of water.
Oh dear. Does anyone have any other questions for Steve?
No, Beautiful system, though, mate. Really lovely.
Amazing. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah,
some real nice fits, and I do love the angels as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Ginacanthus, I have a massive soft spot for. It is one of the things that I would love to have more of if I'd go for a bigger tank.
Which you definitely are.
Probably at some point.
Definitely.
When are you going to get your NEM tank set up?
It's all set up. It just needs filling full of water, but I need to run it the same as the way that I run this. So I need to get it set up with auto water changing, auto top up from the RO unit. And obviously, because it's at the office, that's taking a little bit longer than what I would have liked. The tank is there. It's all scaped. I just need to get round to putting all the hardware on it, really.
Steve, if you have any spare of those Colorado NEMs, please stick them on the Discord. They are really, really nice, the anemones. Or you can just send me one as the extra tip that I sent you on OnlyFans as compensation.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anybody getting tips on OnlyFans, it's not me.
Oh, so
just a tip.
I'm not expecting to see Steve join the Discord anytime soon. We'll see. I honestly think you would enjoy it, Steve, but I'm not offended even slightly if you decide it's not for you. It's not for everybody. Just everybody in front of you right now. So if anyone has any other questions for Steve, we'll wrap up the tour. Thank you so much, Steve, for your time and showing us your tank. It was actually completely such a slick tour as well. It's like you knew exactly what we all wanted to see and when. So thank you so much. Really excited for what could potentially be coming round the corner for our new system. And if you do join Reefy AF on the Discord, you can have your own tank channel and you can document the build and the process and all the rest of it. Quite a few of us have done that over there.
I'm rubbish with anything like that. I take very few pictures. I don't... Even my old tank, I think I've got maybe 20 or 30 pictures. That's it. That was running for a few years. I don't take many pictures at all.
I think Coach actually suggested maybe you do take pictures, but we'll leave that there. Anyway, listen, we'll see you on the next one, everybody. Thanks again, Steve. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you, Steve. Great, thanks.
Mate. Well, thanks, Steve. Well done, mate.
Fuck you, Ron.
Too fucking quick.
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Let me breathe it. Fuck you, Ron. How are you? Good.
Pretty good. Yeah, not too bad.
Really good to see you. Hey, Lee.
What's up, Lee?
Oh, here's Mr. Upside Down Koji.
Coach, it's Coach. Hi guys, how you doing?
Here we go. Oh, they're all coming in thick and fast now. Jeez. Oh, look. Coach has got a Reefy AF hoodie on.
Thick and fast, that's how you like it, right?
I've also got a couple of these if you want them.
Hey, hey, Emma. Hey, Melinda.
Still awake?
I just woke up.
And here he is, the man of the hour. Steve, how are you? You're on mute. Does anybody else want to tell Steve he's on mute?
You're on mute.
Unmute yourself.
The king of technology has arrived.
Hey. Superb. How are you, Steve?
I'm very good. How are you?
Not bad. You excited?
I don't really know what to expect, Ron. I've known you for quite some time. You can be rather unpredictable.
Oh, is he? Really?
Yeah.
See, on tank tours normally the behaviour's a little bit better on tank tours.
That's good.
Love honey in the house.
Hey James, hey Steve, how are you?
Hey.
All good.
Steve.
How's everyone doing?
All the better for seeing your sexy face.
It's just amazing how you can lie and just look, it just comes out so smoothly.
Just roll that right off.
Yeah.
Effortless.
Are you on the beer, Steve?
No, unfortunately not.
What's wrong with you?
I haven't got any beer.
Yeah, that works.
He'd have beer if he was here.
Call yourself an Englishman. You don't have any beer in the house.
Well, I did, and then I drank it all.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
Does beer not just magically appear in your house? I just go to the fridge and it's there.
No.
That's not a good wife.
Correct. To be fair,
my wife
she
doesn't
drinks
really drink.
just as much as I do, though. Your wife doesn't drink.
Not really.
How does she get through sexual intercourse with you then?
She doesn't.
What is Jim wearing? What the fuck is Jim wearing? Is that a Lil Robbie t-shirt?
Fantastic.
Oh my god.
I love it.
Oh. Well done. Well done.
My little Robbie.
Absolutely mental.